How deeply are Americans worried about AIDS? A Los Angeles Times poll found that 50% of Americans favor quarantine for AIDS victims.
My name is Jim Hubbard, and I'm the director of United in Anger, a history of ACT UP, which is showing at HOTDOCS. On the 20th anniversary of AIDS, Sarah heard a radio broadcast that said essentially that at first Americans were upset by AIDS, but then they got used to it. And she called me up and said we had to do something about this complete elision that in the history of America, where the incredible work of thousands of AIDS activists was completely eliminated.
It was about people in power not caring about the lives of people who didn't have power.
The film looks at the history of ACT UP, the AIDS Coalition to Unleash Power, from its beginnings in March of 1987 through about 1995. And what it tries to show is the effort that was necessary to force the U.S. government to deal with the AIDS crisis. The demonstrations at the Food and Drug Administration, which forced the FDA to release more AIDS drugs, the demonstration called Storm the NIH at the National Institutes of Health, which changed the way drugs were researched in the U.S.
These drug companies are profiteering on our lives, and that we cannot accept that anymore.
And especially the 4-year campaign to change the CDC definition of AIDS. The Centers for Disease Control created this definition of AIDS, which was used worldwide. And it used a limited number of diseases to define AIDS. And what happened in that case was that women and IV drug users were not being diagnosed with AIDS because the diseases that they got were not in the definition.
AIDS Coalition to Unleash Power.
I mean, I got the feeling then that people felt that lives depended on that.
Healthcare is right.
If you want to see a film that will inspire you to political action, as well as teach you about an exciting part of U.S. history, come see United in Anger, a history of ACT UP.
Release those drugs! Release those drugs!
When we're activists, when we really act up, we have a big impact, and we get what we're demanding, and when we're silent, we don't.
Being in HOTDOCS was a thrill and a surprise. And I sent in the screener and just applied like anyone else, and we got accepted, and I was delighted